Hello everyone and welcome to my booktube channel where the goal is to read more and worry less. I'm Ainsley and today I am doing the 20 questions, what is it? Today I'm doing the 20 questions book tag. I actually saw this on Katie is Reading's channel, so I am uncertain where or who did this originally. I looked through some various blog posts and unfortunately it seems no one, or at least no one that I've been to or seen here on YouTube or in blog form, knows who originally came up with this. But if you do, please comment below and I will put it in the description box. But I did get this from Katie is Reading and I thought it would be cool to do it myself, and this would be my first book tag, and I wanted to do them before but I wasn't sure if I would be able to really do it because I'm just getting back into reading wholeheartedly, but I decided to give this one a try. So let's get started. The first question is, how many books are too much for a series? My answer to this is going to be a little vague because I think 3 is a really good number because it's I don't know, I think a good trilogy is nice. It's one that doesn't take up too much of your time, and there's not as much, wait time if you start really early or before every single one is done. And sometimes it just feels like you're constantly waiting for this new book to come out in the series, and you'll have books still coming out and then people make the series and Game of Thrones. But I really think that 3 is a really good spot, and then it's also kind of sometimes cool when somebody has a little novella with it. Those don't always seem to be pretty good, but I don't know, I think that's a better alternative. However, as a mystery fan, I can certainly say that you can have a lot of books in which a character recurs, and that's a series as well, but it's not a series in necessarily the same way where it's this recurring storyline or story arc throughout the entire. So I tend to think those are better with a lot more than just the 3, because if you really get into a character. So it really depends on how the series is done itself. Question number 2 is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? Honestly, when it comes to a series, I really think that they should be able to stand on their own. I think a huge problem with certain series is that they continuously feel open-ended and you have to sit there and wait for it. And so if there's a through line, that's totally fine. But to have a really bad, really big cliffhanger just doesn't sit right with me, because I've also watched series where it gets canceled at the end and they had a big cliffhanger, so a cliffhanger definitely gives a sour taste in my mouth. Number 3 is hardback or paperback, and I think a hardback looks really great. It looks really great on the shelf, but overall I do prefer a paperback because it's a lot easier on my hands and wrists. My hands or wrists are pretty weak, so it is a lot better for me if I'm having a paperback. It's also really good for travel, if you're somebody who rides public transport a lot, and it's just a lot easier to lay in bed at the end of the night and read a nice paperback. 4, favorite book. I have a few different favorite books that I absolutely love and I've loved for a long time. I'm currently in the process of reading some of my favorite, or rereading some of my favorite books. A lot of what my go-to favorite books is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I also am recently come to have If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, as well as Red, White, and Royal Blue by Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Those are some of my more recent favorites. I'm also a really big fan of The Virgin Suicides, and I haven't read that in a really long time, but there was a period in my life where I was reading it constantly and I was reading it over and over. So I'm really interested to find out which which one, like how I feel about it when I read it again. But yeah, I have quite a few books that are my favorites. Least favorite book. Oh my god, I don't think I have what I would say is my least favorite book, because if I don't like a book, I will just not read it. Yeah, I don't think, I'm trying to think if I ever read a book that I just absolutely detested. Love triangles, yes or no? I think no, I think they've been done, they're overdone. Like there's really no need for a love triangle. I know there's certain people who really do like them, but for me, I'm just not as interested in them anymore. Maybe back when I was younger, but no. The most recent book you just couldn't finish. What was that? Neon Gods by Katie Roberts was one that I couldn't finish. I started it on audiobook, so I may need to go back and pick it up. I was gonna mention Ugly Love, but I couldn't even start that one because as soon as I heard the voice that was the audiobook person, I couldn't do it. So Neon Gods, I just couldn't, like, I think it would probably be a lot better as just the regular book, because I was kind of getting into it, but there was just, I couldn't, like, the back and forth, the sounds of the voices, I couldn't do it. A book you are currently reading. Okay, so I'm finishing up Misery by Stephen King. I really do like this book. One of my problems though is, for me personally, I'm not into having him when he's writing the book for Annie Wilkes, there's passages and chapters related to that, or like passages and then chapters within the book for that book. And I'm not really into that. That's something that also exists in The Body, which is the book that would become Stand By Me, the movie, or it's like a really short, it's a little novella, short story. But I just don't, I don't vibe with that. But overall, I'm really enjoying Misery. I also have Bunny by Mona Awad. I think I want to, or at least at this current time, I want to finish this before going and reading any more of A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers, because I don't want to get too bogged down by reading so many different things at once. But I did kind of overdo it with my TBR this month, so I'm just going with the flow. But I'm also currently in the middle of rereading Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. I want to finish this one this month and then move on to another reread, which I'm really feeling Little Women at this time. But for right now, the classic that I'm rereading and one of my favorites that I'm rereading is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Last book you recommended to someone. Jurassic Park, maybe? Yeah, because I really like the book. I love the movie. The movie is one of my favorite movies, but the book is also one of my favorite books. So that's also a favorite book of mine. Oldest book you've read. I've read some classics. Especially, I've read a lot of old classic plays, having been in theater. Wuthering Heights, I don't know, like, newest book you read? I don't know, probably something from like 2021. I don't think I've read anything from 2022 yet. No, I haven't. It's still pretty early. It's 5 months. I don't know the exact book, to be honest. Like, I have so many on my bookshelf. No, sorry, I don't know. Favorite author. I'm really loving Talia Hibbert at the moment, as well as Jen DeLuca, because I've been getting into a lot more romance and rom-coms, and those are two of my favorites at the moment. All-time favorite is definitely Agatha Christie, because that's what got me into mystery, and I just really love her work. Buying books or borrowing books? Both. Can I say both? Because I do love to buy books. I love to buy books. It's a hobby. It's something I love to do. But libraries themselves as well are one of my favorite places, my safe place. And there's just times where I love going to the library and going to the bookstore and then going to the bookstore. And so I like having a book because especially right now, I'm into annotating them. And I have all the time in the world when I buy the book. So if I had to choose between buying or borrowing, I would go buying, but borrowing's really good too. Support your local library. A book you dislike that everyone seems to love. This person where I'm reading them said anything Nicholas Sparks, and same. I think I read one book by Nicholas Sparks, and I mean it was okay, but it just wasn't my thing, wasn't my vibes. I've never I've never read a book by the woman who should not be named, but I've never read a Harry Potter. That's a lie. I did when I was younger. I did read like 1 or 2, but I just didn't get into it that much. A book you can always reread. Definitely Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I'm going through it right now and I'm being a lot more analytical than just reading it to read it or read it to enjoy it. Now it's more so I'm being very analytical and reading into it quite a bit, and it's still just as fun and enjoyable for me. Obviously, this is a book that not everyone's gonna say, oh, this is a fun freaking ride, but I do. It's fun for me. No, but I could reread Wuthering Heights constantly, and I'm absolutely in love with it, enthralled with it, and it's fucking fantastic. Can you read while listening to music? I can read while listening to classical music or any music that doesn't have words to it. And I can also listen to ambiance and sounds like that, but otherwise, like if it has words in it, I don't know. One point of view or multiple point of views. In fantasy, I think that's a genre where the 2 point of views work really well. Something I didn't like about Neon Gods when I was reading it was I didn't like the 2 points of view in that one. And it's not to say that 2 points of view cannot work in a romance, but it just wasn't doing it for me. And I would have to say overall 1 point of view is good for me. Fantasy, I really like a good 2 point of views. Like I think that would have been kind of made Shadow and Bone a little better for me. But overall, I do think 1 point of view is better. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? I don't think I've ever read a book in one sitting, even if it's a short book. Wait, that's... Okay, so a full-fledged book, heck no. Like I can't do it. I can't read one whole, I just get cross-eyed, my head hurts, can't do it, cannot focus on a book that long. One book. I can listen to a short story or a novella, because I've done that before in one sitting, usually while I'm doing something. But as for like that, no. I just don't think I could do that. How do you do that? Like, I know there's people who do that, and I just can't. Oh, and who do you tag? Well, anybody who wants to do this, that would be cool, and let me know. But I would like to tag Cameron from Glam X Cam. I always get mixed up which one comes first. But if you want to do it, if she wants to do it, that would be cool. I would love that. And yeah, so I hope these were clear. I almost forgot to do an outro for this video. Thank you so much for watching along. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you have a YouTube, a social media, or you just want to leave in the comments below, let me know your answers to these questions. I would love to have you around, so if you hit that subscribe and ring the bell to be notified every single time I post, I would really like that. And so if you want to, I'd love to have you. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos, go check them out. I am occasionally doing some vlogs and doing some sit-down videos, and I upload every Wednesday and the occasional Sunday. And yeah, I'm really enjoying myself so far, and I can't wait to see how I can grow this channel. Yeah, thank you so much again, and I will see you later. Bye.